Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next match of the Zelda 154 Randomizer tournament. I believe that's that. This morning we have a match between AdirondackRick and spudozaurus. This is game 2 of their series. I'm joined by Peter, who's also some of the setup stuff, and big to MP for doing the tracking for us this morning on this reasonably early race for those of us here in the U.S. I believe Spudozaurus is over in Europe land. Over there, it's a little bit closer to an evening hour. Let's see here. So Rick took game 1 last night off of, I believe, an earlier ladder. We're still working through some of the stuff here, folks. Give us just a second. So, as we've seen throughout this whole tournament, we have a Woodsword start screen. And yeah, we're just working through a little bit more of some of the stuff. Just hang on tight, folks.
We can hang out for a couple of minutes here and talk about seed number 1, I suppose, instead of just twiddling thumbs. So let's go over what happened there.
So there was a little bit of a what's it called? Both runners missed a thing.
Well, to start that seed, it took the runners a little bit of time. There was quite a struggle when it comes to getting through some of the overworld screens early on. One runner using pause strats because it was pretty brutal. The other one just kind of going face first through it all. It took probably 50 plus minutes before Rick finally found his way to 7 to get the ladder, which kind of got the runners going. I think Spud was a little bit behind. It was bait blocked, the ladder and the Triforce and the wand.
Yes. All of which were very, important. Especially the latter.
Yeah. So when that finally happened for Rick, it got Rick eventually to a red ring. It kind of got us to everything but the silvers, which were at 9.
Hmm.
And once we got to 9, it was just it was more fun. It was Wizrobes, I think, that were dominating it.
Yes.
And that's kind of normal. But with that, I think it came down at the end to, unfortunately, a little bit of a mismark versus a missed shutter door, but it was exciting for the fans, I'm sure.
Exciting for us. Probably not as much for the runners. I would say more nerve-wracking from them for them, considering that you're deep in 9, you know who you're running against, and you're over an hour in and nobody's done yet.
Yeah, I think the pressure of the seed did kind of get to him a little bit, but at the end of the day, that's kind of how it goes in tournament matches. Sometimes it goes well. Sometimes the tire fires happen on the seed rolls, and we'll see if game two's any different. But overall, this tournament has seen its share of excitement. I think we've had a good chunk of close races. We've had some unexpected victories amongst the fans, perhaps not so much on this runner side of things, but it's definitely been quite the exciting tournament so far, and it's not really over yet. I think, as far as things go.
Absolutely. And I can definitely vouch from the commentary booth standpoint. This has been one of the best tournaments for that because these races tend to get so they can get really tight really quickly, and honestly, sometimes unexpectedly. So, where would you like to see the runners start this morning?
That's a great question. I would say this. I would like to see them start a little bit closer to the center. Last time, I think we were in the grave, and that was no fun. Just because of how much walking you had to do.
Hmm. I think I would. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I would like it to be somewhere. I don't know, probably closer to. If it's not centered, let's kind of put it off on the right side of the map instead of the left.
I feel like a good option that satisfies all of the requests is open desert cave. It's a little bit farther from some of the open caves, but it still puts you kind of centered. And if you can get an early candle, that puts you right next to West Forest. Which, interestingly, does give you the option of taking the candle at first, checking out the forest, and then resetting to get your sword. Or if you find something that's really nice, you can just keep the candle.
Yeah, thinking about what really is going to matter here, what happened in Seed 1 was neither runner checked the Armos for some time. It ended up only being a Lonely Heart container. Uh, but if it was something bigger, I think both runners really would have regretted how long they took to kind of get to that point. Uh, you kind of don't want to wait that long on a normal basis.
There is something to be said for go ahead and hold off on digging your dungeons outside of maybe a couple of rooms to get uh, things like enemy knowledge um, before you've gotten that Armos item.
Yeah, just an ETA. We're hopeful to be going in the next minute or two here, just trying to fix what you see on screen a little bit more. It's just a little bit of a cropping issue, but once it's clarified or if it doesn't get clarified here in a moment or two, we'll go ahead and just head off and running, and we'll try and fix it on the fly so that we can catch the action. The runners aren't held up any longer.
Right, and the little bit of cropping isn't really cutting off anything on Spud's feed majorly, so we'll still be able to see what the runners are doing. And I think the other thing that's going to change their routing up and what Sharmos they go to is what starting item they start with. Because if you start with a power bracelet, you have a little bit more incentive to head towards Grave Armos earlier, just because you can get that power bracelet spot with it.
The question in chat about the codes. Care to explain what those are meant for?
So the codes are basically effectively a seed hash that you can use to compare to other runners so that you make sure you're all running on the same seed. They are seed unique in that no two seeds should have the same code. And it's basically, as Epic Nomad's saying in chat, it's basically like a visual checksum where you can look at that, make sure that you and the other runner or other runners are on the same seed, and that prevents the issue where both runners load up a seed, everything looks fine, they get in game, and suddenly they're in two different start locations.
Well, you see the countdowns, so that means we are very close to getting underway. We're going to see where to start.
Well, this is not great.
Better than yesterday.
Yes. So Spud's immediately going to go get the sword, and we start with a raft. I liked this decision from Rick to go check the Armos spot real quick. Because if that's a free white sword, then you can just skip getting the wood sword entirely and you get a free candle.
Yep.
Not so today, and it looks like we're going to get a little bit of a sink headed towards Death Armos. And Rick's now going to see that it's a raft and also sets it to pause strats. And Recorder is our Armos item.
Well, pause strats or sync strats. We'll see which one that was in the end.
Looks like we got arrows for 86, meat for 65. They both look like they're going to head in the direction-ish of Deadwoods.
Deadwoods is an interesting play early. Don't really have much in the way of candle, but we found one.
Don't have the money to buy it yet, but it's been found. Rick gets a bomb pack. That is very important if you're going to go to the southwest corner, because you can clear it out in one swoop. We'll see if it actually matters at all. This screen's not going to open up. So one of the things about the Deadwood screens is that the tree base will actually change color, much like the vanilla First Quest 7 area will. So that kind of speeds up your recorder checks in the Deadwoods area, and it looks like it's just nothing at the bomb spot. But another bomb pack for Rick. And one thing you will notice is that because Rick is playing as an enemy sprite, all of the gorillas have been replaced by links. So there's many links. Vanilla 7 contains the potion letter. Pick that up. You don't know what your quests are yet because you haven't seen ropes or Stalfos on the overworld, so it's going to take a little bit before we get knowledge of that. Another bomb pack for Spud. Rick's going to head up to the grave area itself. check this 1 1/4 spot on the way. We'll be rewarded with nothing.
You lose, good day, sir?
I don't really lose anything either. You just go there and play the whistle and it doesn't do anything. Let's see. EQ6 doesn't open. However, we are going to find a gamble den under a grave. I would like to know who's running a gambling den out of a graveyard. And that's a white sword heart. So you need 4 to 6 hearts to be able to pick up the extra hearts. Spud loses 9 on the gambling. Rick loses 20 on the gambling.
Well, that's a casino people won't want to play at. I mean, you need some sort of positives here. Come on, game.
I mean, if you're running a casino out of a graveyard, well,
I mean, it can be a themed casino at least there, but not if you're basically dead money every time.
Well, they advertise themselves as come gamble away your money, but nobody realizes that the payouts are always just set for one particular person that is neither the Korea nor red.
Hey, that's a good one, chat. People are dying to get in.
Yeah. Rick's doing a little bit of an early DM check. Finds a hint, and there's a magical key on the coast.
Yeah, with the grave start-ish, I mean, if you're going to make the checks over there, that does give you some free information, so kind of like that play. So 6 bombs is enough for Spud to go to Eastern Death Mountain.
Rick now has the money to purchase the candle.
For now.
Yeah. Give it 1 or 2 door repairs and that'll fix itself real quick.
That's the way that goes sometimes. At least the medium secret's good enough to where we can definitely profit over time over those door repairs, going up in value there.
And our first dungeon found its level 4 for Spud. And based on that start location, it can be everything.
Yeah, I can't guess on that alone. I need more help, game.
Spud's probably just going to pop this door open real quick. And Rick looks to be setting up a bomb force. There's a bomb. But Rick finds level 2 in the far reaches of Death Mountain.
Well, let's see. We are up high again. I feel like this is more likely to be level 1, or I guess it could be Shapes, but or level 1. Quest 1. Look at me.
Look, level 1 and level 2 can be the same level depending on what order you go in, and I'm willing to call this first quest now.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the shape so far of First Quest 2.
It's also got a dark room, which means there's at least some number of vanilla dungeons, but, well, that was kind of a default.
Looking at level 4, I think that's going to confirm us as far as what quest we're in on the front. Especially if we up and A and see the map at any point, and that is a empty room that you walked out of just a moment ago. And it was. So there you go.
Rick's gonna try to do this room a little bit, but has to be really careful because these all will deal 2 hearts damage.
Yeah, this room's not really fun.
I would consider bombing a little bit more than Rick is, even though he is on Death Mountain and has enough bombs to finish it out. It's still kind of rough. Speaking of bombs, there's bombs for Spud.
Oh boy, more fun in level 2. Let's skip that room as well. I think we need to get way south in this level 2.
Yeah, I would honestly just mark that this room is tough enemies and move on.
Yeah, part of increasing your speed is sometimes just knowing a room is too much to handle early on and just go past it, and maybe you get lucky and you find a floor item just sitting there, or a room just full of Gibdos, which takes a little bit of time, but is a little bit less deadly than blue Wizrobes and bubbles to take your sword and all of the above.
Plus, Gibdos are. It seems like they're more likely to drop bombs than just about every other enemy, so you can likely get a bomb pack out of this. And then the game's gonna say, no, Rick's not gonna get a bomb pack. There's a Triforce for Spud over in the corner. It doesn't have the ladder to get to it, so you're gonna need either a key or a way to get around.
Yeah, I think with keys we get around that pretty easily, but the major key's out on the coast, so we're going to have to find some smaller ones.
You could also just find a ladder.
That would be a little bit easy.
There's some bombs for Rick. That'll let him start using. Be a little bit less cautious, I think, about using bombs in combat. Gets a bomb pack on the floor also. Stair for Spud in 4 is going to give us the bow!
Also too easy, but I guess after game 1, perhaps that's fair.
Now, what's going to happen is the arrow shop is going to be the rare shop out of the power bracelet. The power bracelet's going to be a 9, and then there's going to be a Goma blocking the silvers.
I don't want to talk about that kind of setup.
So Rick's going to skip that Gleeok for the rest of eternity, and also probably going to skip this room for the rest of it.
And probably that one too.
Yep. This room, however, I see getting clear.
Yeah, if you're up at the top door, the easiest way to get the red Wizrobe to play nice is to just kind of camp a single frame outside that door. It'll always spawn to your south, and clearing him out probably would help speed things up, although Rick has done quite the job getting through the room anyways. It's another key for the efforts.
Getting a couple of keys here isn't bad, as Spud takes the death a little bit deep in 4.
And we'll see if Spud continues, or if the bow is enough reason to kind of say no thanks.
Rick's playing a little bit dangerous with these Lionels, getting right before they fire.
Does at least have one sword beam he can take.
Also, I think we have seen the arrow shop, so my dream of power bracelet blocking the wood arrows required is dead. Yay! That's his room.
Yeah, we're skipping that one too, as Spud is going to go ahead and take the Triforce, and I suspect is going to be out for now. With the flute, you can come back really quickly, so it's not really that detrimental to leave.
And Rick's going to clear this wood reserve room, gets a compass for his efforts.
Which I think is one room up and to the left. It's really hard to see his dots. I think it's up and to the left.
Yeah.
Now up.
Above him. But it's more heart. Not terrible.
Well, it's item knowledge that doesn't require killing a bunch of junk, so we kind of take it.
Yeah, that's the one thing that sometimes gets overlooked with the heart containers is the item knowledge aspect of it.
And then this room we can clear and actually prio enemy kill. Yeah, and probably go through the key door and make sure the item isn't there.
Yep, which it won't be. There's the arrow shot.
Well, now we see bombs there. Honestly, you can go ahead and just burn a couple of bombs if you really wanted, and I think Rick is going to try and speed it up in this room.
Might do a couple of sword stabs just to try to do a little bit of bomb conservation, but
oof. I thought the Beamos might get him a friendly bop into a Y-Force. 64 rupees is the large. Not great, but the medium is 36, so it evens it out somewhat.
Yeah.
And again, first quest money, I don't think there's ever truly a poverty seed unless you're playing second quest and need to buy keys on top of that. So I think the runners will be just fine with the money they have this seed.
Yeah, the only real way I could see a poverty seed in the first quest is if you have to buy the candle and arrows and the meat. And you can only get them out of the... And they're all, like, really expensive combined with low money. It's just very unlikely.
There is the 43 rupee blue candle pickup for Spud. So a little bit of an early lead for Spud. Both left an item in the dungeons. Again, with flute in hand, kind of something you expect to see. But,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
Rick's a little short on money for the candle.
Yeah, but that's at least farmable, so I don't think it'll be that long before he's able to get it, especially if he finds a better casino than the one he found in the grave.
Does that mean he goes and looks for a casino at all? He's actually going to take a save here.
Yeah, I'm down for saving the game, making sure you have that. Might go ahead and bomb some spots once he gets swapped over.
And if there's nothing, he can just reset and keep his bombs.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's nearby. You might want to test what that secret is to know for later, but never mind.
Rick seems to be looking for some knowledge here of, okay, what is where? Rick, you already tried that spot.
Yeah, and now he's going to test it since he realized he did bomb the correct spot and notices it's 15.
He's going to take it, though, and go buy the candle.
So what, that's 4 secrets that are +5, another 7 that are +6, and 3 that are minus, like, 30 something, 33, 36, wherever.
Yeah.
So not quite.
Spot is dead.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see both Raft Spots dead. They typically either both roll something and we get a good laugh, or they both roll nothing and we're like, yeah, normal.
Yeah, it's almost rare to get a single Raft check being required. Spud buys arrows, so Spud now can kill Gomez. So really, we just kind of need to figure out when we're going to find more levels. Now, Rick also does have a small advantage of having already cleared out DM. Isn't going to have to go back there looking for levels later. Even though both of them found a level on DM, so you can argue how much of an advantage that actually is.
Yeah, I think Rick is just hoping to find one additional heart somewhere in the Dead Woods to try and get a better shot at any key, so he can just route it in now. Unfortunately, that's not going to be something he finds. May just choose to try for it anyways, although it's close enough to start where you can skip it for now, if the moblins allow it.
Yeah. The moblins don't understand that Rick is a gorilla and don't let him through easily.
So Spud's going to be the first one to get further east in Hyrule, and we'll find an any road, which gets us even further to the northeast.
Good old Monocle Rock.
Desert open cave. And, well, I mean, we can get east, but
yes.
Unfortunately, nothing closer to start to help us begin the journey. We have to go a little bit further off the beaten path to just get to those anyways, so not sure how much those will get used in this one. Flute probably is going to be the priority.
Yep. Nothing at the spot north of Vanilla Start. Rick does get a forced fiber. And Rick no longer has enough money to buy arrows.
Yeah, Rick doesn't realize that the bow is pretty achievable, so probably isn't really considering them just yet. Oh, there's the big number, though. Plus 72.
I'd rather gamble at that casino than the one at Vanilla 6.
So the way they work for the most part is 4 negative, 2 positive. Occasionally you see some weird interactions where you get a really small third positive. But one of the positives is pretty lame in the casino. Usually it can roll up to, I think, 40 is the highest that one can roll. And then 75 is the highest that the top end one rolls. So it rolled near max.
Yeah.
A good casino doesn't really worry too much about all the positives. It wants the sole big negative to roll about 20 and all the other ones to roll in like single digit numbers, and then have a positive that's in or around 45, 50 at least.
Spud considered taking the potion out of this first weekend. Looked like at
Yeah.
least briefly.
Yeah, thought about it, but again, with the known any key on both sides at this point, I think that's a pretty rough call to ever make. We're trying to get some bomb luck on just kind of figuring out where the random global is at. Level 5 is, what was this, Bomb South Coast?
Yes. I want to say it was the middle of the 3 bomb spots.
Not a bad dungeon to find if you don't have keys, even though we have a key door here.
Yeah, the main thing that I would caveat that with is it's not a bad dungeon to find if you don't have keys. However, one of the problems with 5 is sometimes you need 1 key to get in, and then you can come out with a couple more keys than you went in with. And honestly, I would argue if you're on 0 keys, 6 is actually better for keys than 5, especially in shapes.
Pointless moat room? No, top moat room. I think we're out.
Yeah, that's a hard key block, unless you get a ladder. But if you get a ladder, you get the any key, so technically it's just a ladder. So arguably it's just a ladder block, no matter what. Rick finds a hard at vanilla 1, up to 5 now.
Yep.
Rick may spend his last 2 bombs to check these 2 spots. We're going to start seeing some East Forest from Spud. Rick will get some more money. Spud's going to go check the other raft spot.
Oh, that's right. I've got my items mixed up. Look at me. It's a hard container, white sword item, ladder blocked any key. So
Yes.
that would explain some shenanigans on my end. I blame the morning time and the lack of fuel via energy drink.
Ooh, level 6 is on the other raft spot.
Well, that's actually shocking to me. The amount of times that you get just one seems so little, but here we are.
Is this Rick buying a blue ring? This is Rick buying a blue ring.
Circle moat with a key in the middle. Spud is quite unhappy about that one.
So Rick may spend a little bit of time before he gets to the 6. Okay, here's the decision time for Spud.
Is it a decision?
Considering you need keys and potentially a ladder, there's an argument to be made to go a couple of rooms in just to look for keys.
Is it though?
Yeah. If it's me, it's a decision.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I could see exactly why Spud would just say no thanks.
Yeah.
I think Spud is probably going to end up buying a key just to get things going at some point.
Yeah, but the amount of money that he's got. You could also just go to level 2. Rick came out of there with at least 1 key. But the key in that shop is expensive at 117, so... I would want to see if we're dealing with the second quest back half before buying the key, just in case a meat purchase ends up being necessary for GQ8.
Should, in theory, be able to buy both of them. 84 is the cheap key. I actually think that's just a solid enough number to go for it.
Yeah.
Your cheap bait is usually going to roll under, 65. Oh, hey, 65 exactly. Never mind.
Well, there we go. Rick will find 5 here, but Rick may actually elect to dig it a little bit more and use the 1 key.
But yeah, cheap bait is, I believe, in the ballpark of like a 40 to 80 value, so the amount of times that you get the high end is pretty limited. So We have a level 9 sighting. It is way off to the right, which confirms Shapes is the back half.
So no 2Q involved in this seed is pretty good. And that 9 is actually pretty close to the Eddie key, so if you end up getting ladder very late, or ladder's in 9, the Eddie key is right there. Rick finds, this is not vibing, I was wrong. It's the far right bomb spot.
Well, as long as we don't take a bop on the next screen, we will open that up and maybe get a little bit further. We'll see if Rick is willing.
Well, Rick's gonna get a lucky bomb there, so that'll help a lot. Spud's now got a key, Rick has a key, both in level 5. Rick does have a blue ring and a little bit of a health advantage, too. Which isn't necessarily insignificant, especially given the amount of Wizard dungeons so far.
Yeah, the chance for Spud to build a lead is going to be a little bit more dependent on whether or not Pole's voice are dominant in some of these dungeons early, and the timing for Rick to get back to 4. Rick not going to immediately spend the key, although I think might change his mind when he realizes this is top moat.
Yeah, you might want to clear this room out because this is a drop room at 5. Could get a key or a map here, which we saw was a map.
Spud is also going to potentially go back in here and burn the key.
Honestly, I see both of them burning the key here. You've got so many... Oh my goodness, it's ladder blocked anyway.
Well, at least you get the refund. Could be worse.
And you have knowledge that, yes, it is hard ladder blocked, so you'll probably get the Eddie key before you come back in here.
So, ladder confirmed not 9.
That's a good sign. Now, that may, interestingly, make a reconsideration of both 4 and 6, 2 and 6 in Rick's case, when he eventually gets to 6, a little more likely, depending on how Rick routes this.
Yeah, I think...
May not get to 6 for a little bit.
I think both in the short term will probably just ignore those dungeons. I think with 1 and 3 for both runners outstanding, and then obviously the trade-off of 2 and 4, there's enough smaller dungeons left where you're better off just exploring the overworld and seeing what's available first and then going back. So while I do agree it makes it a little bit more appealing to go back to at least the 2 and 4 and to some degree 6, I think it probably is low on the go back list. Definitely going to go to some other locations in the overworld first, including finding level 9 if you're Rick for the first time.
And interestingly, if you know it's Shape's back half, you may actually consider Shape 7 over 6. Because Shape 7 usually tends to be smaller.
If we were playing with Atlas enabled and I had a book to know what it looked like, I probably would agree. It's kind of rough, though, until you get the map of 7.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Because you could walk into 7, for example, and it could be more than 33 rooms, and 8 could be like 40-something rooms, and 9 could just be 40 rooms on you.
Yeah.
9 will always be bigger than 8 or tied with it, so it won't be 40, but it would be, you know, if you got an 8 that was 42 rooms, you might get a 9 that's 43.
Yep. Spud finds 7, speaking of.
Yep, it's going to be blinding for a little bit on the left side, as it's a hot pink.
Just some early keys, though. Not too bad. This is probably a transport.
It'd be fun if it was find the bomb wall instead.
It would. Although, if this is ladder, I'm probably bailing on 7 and just going to 5.
Yeah. Probably go to the coast first and then to 5, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, Spud's out of 7, so... maybe that block didn't push at all.
No.
You may find out on Rick's side, or Spud may be looking to do some shenanigans. Certainly doing some HUD clip shenanigans. Yeah, Rick is likely going to find this early Triforce. We'll see if he elects to go back in or not. I would guess no. Rick's going to just leave the...
Oof.
Six.
Very top quarter of 8. Yeah, leaving 6. Sorry, cut you off there, but just saw that spawn of 8, and that was enough for Spud to say, no thanks.
Well, we'll see if Rick digs it. He is known for the Rick 6 is named after him, after all. Rick about to find 7. Gonna take the potion here.
6 hearts, white sword items a heart, so not super invested in going for mags at this point. It's still far enough away. There's plenty of hearts available as well. Level 1 found, so I think this is kind of what Spud's play was.
Yeah. Go find a smaller dungeon, then it's easier to clear.
Man, at least those danger noodles were not blue. That would have been left side landmo fun.
Yes. Looks like it's dark nuts and 1. Heart container on the floor for the first item.
Hey, find the bomb wall in level 7. That's why we left.
Let's see if Rick likes to play Find the Bomb Wall.
I think you're better off going back a couple of rooms towards the center of the dungeon. I feel like a lot of these are center aligned, except for level 6 when Shapes and likes to be left.
Rick does find a magic bomb wall, only to get more bomb walls.
Yeah, this is a rough clear, but maybe it'll be the map.
Maybe it'll be the ladder.
That would be pretty wild.
Yeah. I like that choice by Rick, though, to go ahead and try to get the Dark Nut while also seeing if that wall opens.
Ooh, escapes barely.
And I also
Blue Dark Nuts on both sides, by the way. A little bit easier on the left than the right.
Spud's going to take the Triforce there so he doesn't clear the room again. But I expect he'll go back in.
The good news about Blue Dark Nuts, they drop health. There's the map.
Hey.
Well, that's a triple segment. That is a thing that exists.
I don't know if this is Rick pirouetting this door or Rick saying no.
Well, we know which bomb wall it is, so I think we do continue briefly.
Yep.
This is why, without the Atlas, I don't want to dig Shape 7 for stuff.
Yeah, this is not the ideal shape. Oh, look! More potential bomb walls.
Yeah, we have no more bombs, so we have to farm it off the Gibdo, or maybe get lucky with a transport. There's gonna be a couple of them now.
Yeah.
Like 3 transports and 1 item staircase, so 1 and 7 to find item, or nothing, you lose again. Good day, goodbye.
How in the world do you have a triple segmented 7 and 2 push block rooms with no push block?
Because Shapes.
So Rick's probably not going back there for the next tournament.
I mean, you know where the bomb wall is again, so if you got lucky with a bomb drop, maybe you continue, but I think we are leaving. I think Rick will, as you said earlier, though, Rick 6 the 8 if possible.
Yeah. Speaking of bombs, we haven't seen the bomb shop yet.
Very healthy one so far as well. 2 hearts now, I believe.
Yep. I would not clear that Gliok. Even if it's a key, it's not worth it.
Have we seen the Triforce? Yes, we have, so you don't need that at all. Yeah, just leave it.
Rick will now find 8. Might try to Swan Manipulate to get some more blue rocks to kill for bombs.
Alright, here we are. what do we got in this level 8? Since Spud left in the entry room, we have a chute.
With a compass, though.
Time for a broken seal with another chute over here. Come on, game. Not quite. Another push block that doesn't push?
Probably. Rick's gonna check it, though. Oh, no, this one pushes. Okay. And it's transport. Rick's would like to take it a little bit. Kind of interesting, as there's a boomerang in level 1.
Yeah, that's it for Spud and 1, so the hope of level 1 being a big payday is a bit of a bust. We do have another potential staircase here. We moved a long way, so it could be a transport, it could be item. Oh, hi.
Oh! That Spud might miss that if he sees that compass in that first room.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's that compass in that chute room is a bit troubling.
Yeah.
Because it is easy silvers if you take the staircase, but you might be inclined not to. So we'll see where the Triforce ends up being.
That also means that when Rick finds 4, he'll probably be in pseudo go mode, depending on if the ladder's there or not. Obviously, if the ladder's not found at that point, then Willie would be in go mode. But
yep, interesting, interesting find in 8 that was.
Yes. The impact of it will, as you're mentioning, depend on where the Triforce ends up being. Because if the Triforce is far from start, that may push Spud to go ahead and take the stair anyway. And also where the ladder is, because if the ladder's nearby the silvers in 8, that increases the odds significantly that Spud's going to find it.
Oof. Rick clocks with the Wallmaster room. We'll see if that's a bit of a blessing or a curse. It could be a little bit of both. We at least have some progression we can make in the next room. And we get a key refund, so yeah.
And neutral.
And it's a Dodongo room, so you have to burn the key if you want to continue. And we don't want to go burning that key, so we're going to have to go back up and burn the key.
Yeah. Either head back to the stair room to bring the key to go left, or just go down from this door right here. Wait. Oh, no!
Goodbye, little late.
Well, that's even more interesting now.
It's not a hard ladder block yet because we have a door we can't open via having no bottoms for Dodongos, but it makes you think that it might be a little bit ladder blocked, and Rick might mark it as such by accident as well.
It's also a somewhat reasonable assumption to say, okay, I'm just gonna play as if 8 is ladder blocked, because I already got silvers out of there. I know where it is. I don't particularly want to go and blind digging for a Triforce when I can get a compass if I just find a ladder. Plus, at that point, I'd have the key too.
Yeah, Spud's still looking for level 3.
Rick will find level 1 here in short order.
My goodness, Spud trying to get away from the red levers and just move to the next screen, but they do spawn right in front of you, so that makes it rough.
Spud finds 2. Now, we only saw 1 item out of this from Rick's side.
Yeah, combat was not great. I'm not sure, honestly, if Spud's going to clear all the things as well. Be a rough decision. I think probably going to move around a little bit and then come back to some of the rooms. But might also clear a handful more than Rick. We'll see what happens.
Having the bow and arrows might make him a little bit more willing to clear some of these Lionel rooms.
Yep, gonna primary enemy each of these just to see what stays and what goes. This room doesn't seem to be very nice about blues. Ooh, this is going to be a rough... Oh, oh. I got him on the way out.
Yep. Rick's also trying to primary away the blue dark net.
Yeah, it's the Triforce room if I remember correctly as well.
Yeah. So he's going to clear it, get the Triforce, and then... I would assume he's going to spend the key.
Probably.
Can't think of a reason you wouldn't. even though level 1 is generally pretty key happy, that's a lot of rooms you can access, and you do have box now.
Yep, that specific room gives you 3 chances at not being key locked in the next room. That was an earlier heart, so it is heart, and 2.
And that was the room that Rick had tried to clear early, but wasn't able to.
So the small problem there is Rick might go back to 2 early looking for the ladder and have to clear combat rooms only to find a heart. Whereas Spud will not have to come back once he finds the heart that's very close to the Triforce and the Triforce.
Right, but I don't really see Rick going back to 2 until the game tells me he wants to go back to 2, given that 3 and 4 are still on the table.
Also, Spud is going to run out of money.
Yeah. Running out of money when bow and arrows are your best weapon is not the best option. The Dark Notes are squishy today.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many of them, so I hadn't noticed to this point either, but I think last seed it was 6 HP for them. There's definitely 6 for the Red Wizrobes last seed that they played, so they'll welcome a lot of what they're getting so far in terms of rolls in this one.
Both runners up to 9 hearts now. Spud will go up to 10, picking up this second heart at level 2. Rick's gonna elect to keep the health here. Spud's very low on money now.
Yep, we'll get a key out of this room, so I think for the first time in a little while, Spud's going to feel pretty comfortable about the key count they have.
Rick's gonna try this push block, just in case it rolls a second quest room into a first quest dungeon.
Yeah, we know he has to go 1 room to the south. He does not yet, although he's going to run out of options pretty quick.
I don't think either runner would necessarily mind seeing this
one. Spud trying to pause strat that room and decides, you know what, let's just reset.
Rick may run out of keys here.
Possible, but I think he'll burn the key going south before going to the right at some point.
Oh, he's already been to the room to the right.
I mean, towards the right of the eagle.
Oh. Gotcha. So bow and silvers deal 4 damage to enemies that can be affected by arrows. The wooden sword deals 1 damage, the white sword deals 2 damage, and the magic sword deals 4 damage. So the silvers are as strong as the magical sword, but it does not work on every enemy. Rick gets a compass.
Oof.
Bud takes a wizard. Oh!
Oof. Wombo combo.
Not ideal.
Not enough happy feet in there. We'll have to do it again.
Rick's gonna find the boomerang here, but be out of keys. Rick will pick it up, though. I don't think this is necessarily a bad idea. Even though the boomerang does tend to lose a lot of its value as the seed gets longer, it still is helpful for forcing bomb drops, stunning Dig Doggers, stunning Lionels. And Rick's making his way over in the direction of level 4.
Yep, that will be a welcome item that Rick finds once he makes it that way.
I'm curious to see, given that Rick has a little bit better combat with Blue Ring and will have the silver arrows, if Rick decides to go ahead and dig the second item out of 4.
Yeah, this too is very unfortunate for Spud, losing a decent amount of time and losing every bit of their coin purse in here as well.
We found the bomb shop. And Rick's gonna would like to finish out East Death Mountain and go into 4 on the way back. This is fine, actually. Because you're still gonna come in from the left anyway. As long as you just don't skip 4.
Yeah, I think this is more to do with overworld routing. I think this might actually clear his overworld, making it that 3 might be PB locked. I'd have to look at his map to confirm, but I kind of feel like he's seen the majority of this overworld now.
Yeah. And that may be something that will push Rick back to 2 to get that second heart, is seeing that it's PB blocked. But Spud's got to be careful, down to 3 bombs. Doesn't know about the bomb refill on that door to the left.
Yes, Brewers fan JP also noting that there are 2 ladder spots potentially. So we might be ladder locked out of 3, or we might be power bracelet locked. We definitely have odds on the power bracelet being more likely, but we just saw a raft required, and that's pretty low odds, so you never know.
Yep. Spud's going to get the Triforce out of level 2, but only has 2 bombs to work with for the rest of this West Death Mountain.
Yep, that heart piece drop there would actually turn me around into that cave again, just because there's a chance the next drop is a bomb.
Rick's going to try to avoid spending keys as much as he can. I seem to recall the bow was in a stair relatively early before. You had to go walk past the Triforce, but I think Rick is going to do that at this point. Just given that it sounds like he's got all of his overworld found, so he knows he's got to find some sort of other exploration item anyway. So there's no real reason to leave for. And the combat here is not going to be much easier than 2, but you don't have the burden of exploring 6, 7, or 8. Did Spud clear this room?
I feel like Spud cleared a lot of it. Spud now on 11 hearts. We're getting about to that point where you can flute back close to the magical sword and try to speed up your seed. It is, if I remember correctly, on the long path just below the desert, the burn bush.
I think so, yes. Or if it's not exactly there, it's in that general area. I would like to get some bomb multi-hits here.
It's always scary, though, because you might need some more bombs in here still, and you're only at 2, so you're really just wanting a bomb drop so that you can use it. There you
like
go.
That. And I think Rick's going to try to primary enemy this. We have seen ladder blocks in 5, and we may be completely ladder blocked out of 3. Magical Sword can be picked up on 11 hearts.
Alright, so that's kind of an advantage short-term for Spud.
He's got to be able to convert it, because now he's got to start looking at other dungeons. And if Rick finds something important in this 4, then all bets are off. It's interesting that Rick's going to elect to clear this room.
Low on keys, though.
Another bomb pack.
Run.
Run screaming through. There's another key.
Yeah, we take that, and we'll see what the next room has. I would think the floor item's potentially down here somewhere as well. And this room even is a possibility. I think you do potion 100% in this room. Yeah.
Yep. You're too deep in to risk taking a death there.
Yeah, I think Spud's going to make up quite a bit of time given where Mags ended up being in terms of the heart requirement. We'll see if level 8 is the ultimate troll, though.
Right, because if Spud has ladder going in 8, Spud may very well just completely ignore the stairs and say, "Oh, I have early Triforce I can get." No
Yeah.
item in that room, but Rick does now have the health to be able to get to that room to the right. But not going to go back into 6 here yet.
This feels more like a 7 or 8 play to me.
Yeah. Which is kind of interesting. And the reason I think it's interesting is you're going into a shape 7/8, but you don't have a map of it. Whereas you at least have a map of the layout of 6.
Yep, fair.
And Spud's decision may change a little bit once he actually sees what the map in 7 looks like and how terrible it is.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't know if he'll actually even clear the room. Might just try and bomb around still.
It gets a bomb drop there. And let's see. So Rick's clearing rooms that are relatively early in 4 now and didn't get a floor drop earlier in, so it'll be interesting if this turns into Rick finds an early floor item that's good in 4 that Spud just missed because he didn't want to clear the room. Could even be this room here. There's the map.
Yes, but probably not thrilled with the shape, but we have the combat to clear a lot of this stuff quickly, so I think we're just going to keep on motoring through.
Rick's about to get his bow. Rick's only got a couple of rooms left for 4's floor drop, so...
And Rick will have added damage for a lot of the stuff. The raft in the Gibdo is now sitting there. We're going to leave that pile of logs.
Yeah, we don't need firewood yet. And that's a book.
Yep. Good old
Okay.
Pokédex. I'm not sure how many head shops have we seen, actually.
I know we've seen at least one on Rick's side.
Not that Spud's going to afford anytime soon. Going to have to get 10 rupees and probably gambling game to get anywhere near it.
Still haven't seen a floor drop in 4 yet, although Rick's going to clear this room out for easy Triforce access, which makes a lot of sense when you got bow and silvers to work with.
So what is it, the room below with the BMOS? Is that the only one left?
There's that, and then there's the vanilla boss room. But I think this room's a little more likely, and certainly the easier of the 2 to access to clear. Okay, it's the last room in the corner. Both items in 7 were in the same room, so yes, Spud does have both items out of 7. I like this choice to go ahead and clear out this segment before you move through the stair to the next one. Rick is going to pick up the Triforce here. We'll see if he goes back in or not. Given it's one room, I kind of expect he will.
I think it's a key blocked room, so you have to consider, hey, there's the bait block in the corner, so no bait.
And while I get that it's a key block, you're in a position where you know you have to get something. You can't really afford to leave a room behind at this point.
So will it be something important? Like, it has to essentially be the ladder or the power bracelet to really assist Rick in clear speed and finding his last dungeon, and apparently that is what it is, so this could pay off, or we could just need a ladder. We're going to find out. Bogey arrow up first.
Yeah, and I don't see Rick digging to pre-checking all of his power bracelet spots. However, I do see Rick checking that western power bracelet spot last, because then he can just jump into 2 if it's not there.
Yep. Grave spot next.
Yep. I would expect Lost Woods probably, or not Lost Woods, Lost Hills probably after this, because I think there's a level up there Rick can get to via 6. Oh, there's a hint shop.
Yeah, technically can afford the left one exactly, but we're only looking for a single item with a lot of information. And this is not where he's trying to flute to. Try again. This is to level 2, so he's going to actually check the one you thought he was going to check last. Well, you can always flute back here anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's fair. Nothing there, and Rick's gonna go ahead and flute away.
Yeah, 1 is kind of a weird spot because you can only really check the one to your right here. That's second quest 4. He's going to run away and try and get there. Succeeds.
Yep, I'll just have the double flute to get back over, and it does not push.
Spud, meanwhile, up to 6 keys here at this moment, so this level 7 is paying off in terms of key count.
Back to 6 to check the Lost Hills, followed by probably the 2 power bracelet spots over near the desert. And by the 2, I mean the one near the desert and the one near Star. And then we'll go back to somewhere to try to find a ladder if there is no level 3. If there is a level 3, I foresee a full clear of it. Rick kills a P-Hat.
It's got to be like a bingo card entry for our bingo game.
Oh, wait, hold on. Rick's gonna jump not back into 8. Okay. I forgot he didn't check the spot earlier. I thought he was gonna go for just the YOLO gamble on 8.
I've seen Rick make some interesting calls before. Sometimes they work, so...
Well, this will be a playback to 7. Which, this doesn't bother me at all. You gotta go back in here anyway. The map and the book are in here, so Rick may like to go by hints after this.
Yep, at 95 rupees, you can afford the majority of the one shop they've seen most recently, and maybe the one from before as well. I didn't quite see the values on that one. We have a compass find finally in the 7. It's got to be in the segment, though. Oh, hey, next turn.
Yeah, I see Rick clearing this room, though. And honestly, with silvers in hand, that helps a lot, too. It's interesting. I think Rick is choosing to use the sword more than the silvers to save that money in the event that he finds a book or a bomb upgrade.
Yeah. Now deciding just to go rapid fire as soon as you said that.
But now might hold off on the rapid fire now that he's got this.
So that's both items. Rick will go ahead and I assume clear to the Triforce.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to make up. He's probably actually going to lose time in this 8 because of the weapon difference. The magical sword killing just about everything, whereas silvers do kill a lot of things, but not everything.
Spud's now an 8. And here's the thing, though. If Rick does jump into every stair that he sees, he might actually end up making up... He might actually keep some of that time differential lower just because he'll have seen. He'll find the Triforce faster. Oh, I like that. Gather the Gibdos up to check the bomb wall with it. Spud is now going to clear out this one room here.
Could maybe bomb left in this room or try to see what's going on to the left, but nope. I think we're definitely going to find the silvers at this point.
Yeah. I don't see where Spud doesn't get silvers here. Oh, Rick's going to like to leave that one alive. Come back later.
There's a question in chat about how early the silvers are. They are one room right of where Spud is currently.
Yeah, Spud's going to get the silvers here.
Trolled himself a little bit. If there's smoke on the screen when you drop the second bomb, it does not stop the Dodongo. The Dodongo is too confused by the first smoke.
Honestly, the only way that Spud wouldn't get the silvers here is if that was actually just the Triforce, and even then, Spud would check because he needs items.
Yeah, so silvers are definitely going to be gotten here. Not going to die on the way to those with all those hearts.
No.
Rick is clearing staircases in order of finding them, so is in the little segment first, and we'll have to go back and go down.
Yep. Rick's got to be careful about his money count if he does want to buy these hints.
Yeah, perhaps the most opportune time for the freeze to happen is when it's with rooms that Rick has already cleared. So we know Spud isn't going to find anything crazy good in these rooms yet. This room, for example, drops a key.
Although, I guess Rick might not actually be thinking much about the hints, because like you said, he's only looking for one item.
Yeah, I think Rick is prioritizing dungeon clear speed over the hints. Yes, you could retry them, but I mean, you really have to get super lucky on it for it to actually pay off with the item you need, or give you at least item knowledge somewhere else, so that you don't have to go back.
Right.
Like, we know it won't give him item knowledge in level 2, because the only thing it would tell him is, like, step over the water to get the heart, because one of the random routes happened to be heart.
Or he'll get a hint like step over the water to reach the magical key.
So, yeah. I'm just talking about dungeons he's gotten something out. There's the Triforce we're going to leave. Level 8.
It's actually kind of interesting. Because I don't know if Spud yet knows that he needs something like a power bracelet. Well, he knows he needs a ladder, but I don't think if he knows he needs a power bracelet or a ladder to get into 3. He's still got that one item on the floor and 4 remaining.
Yep, so I think maybe Spud's play is to go back to 4 here soon.
Yeah. I do think you go back to 4 before you go back to 6. 100% of the time. Wait. Yeah, Spud doesn't have a ladder.
Could be level 3.
Could be. And both the spots open. It's fantastic.
Question chat is, where is 5? It is on the south coast. I believe we deduced it was right bomb spot down there.
Yes. And neither runner's going there because it's hard ladder blocked.
Yep, a T room on one side, a top side moat room on the other, and the bomb wall doesn't work to get you around either.
In the forest is an entrance to death.
Which is a little bit annoying, honestly, because level 5 does provide the highest density of old men that can give you hints. It gives you 2 of them, with the third being the bomb upgrade.
Here's where we're going to see Rick struggle a little bit time-wise versus Spud.
Yeah, he made up some time in a handful of rooms, going from 90 rupees down to 41, but in a room like that, it doesn't help you much.
Yeah.
So we're
done at 7 here.
Yeah, we're going to see Spud checking some power bracelet spots. Presumably that is our answer, although we could just have to go back to 6 or 8 again.
Rick will get the Triforce out of level 7. Really, the only difference right now is Spud having knowledge. I mean, Spud does have a bit of a lead, just knowledge, second item in 2, Triforce in 8, and having the magical sword.
Yeah, I'm really still surprised Rick is looking to go maybe to walk into level 8 again.
He's not going to 8 here.
Yeah. Definitely will be checking the power bracelet spots near Vanilla Start at this point. You have an any road right here that you can take to get to him.
That's what he's going to do.
Yeah, this one gets you the first one, and you pretty much just walk to the second one from here.
Then if you really want to go to 8, you can whistle to 7 to get to 8.
There it is.
Okay.
So if ladder is here, it buys Rick about 30 seconds.
Fires die to silvers, that's important.
I think Rick is still a little bit behind here at this point, given the try location 8. However, the caveat here is I think that Spud still is not necessarily that far ahead if the ladder isn't here. Because we don't know what decisions the runners are going to make. We do know that the stair item is right here, though.
Yes. Well, the other thing that I think is working heavily in Spud's favor is having gotten that well, there's a white sword, so that's going to help with the weapon disadvantage.
Best possible item for Rick to have found in this dungeon, hands down.
Yeah.
If the other one's the wand, then this is a big bonus and saves Rick a lot.
Yep. Rick is going to go ahead and pick up the fiber.
You got to pick up every nickel that you see on the floor on both sides just to keep your silvers quiver up.
Yep.
Virus dying to the white sword, even.
That's really good for Rick. The book does not give all the maps in this rule set, so that's why shape 7, 8, and 9 are always fine to magic bomb hole.
Blame me.
Rick is headed straight for the Triforce here, hoping to get the item on the way. Which, I think that's fine.
Yep, I would go ahead and grab it and then turn around and check the last handful of rooms, I guess.
Yeah. Because you gotta come up this way anyway, so you might as well look for your item while you're up here and not check for if you don't have to. And the key counts are kind of equalized between the two runners now.
And these two are literally just right on top of each other in terms of the Triforce knowledge.
Hi, Gliok. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that if 9 is particularly nasty in terms of the combat, the blue ring from Rick may end up being a factor. This is assuming red ring doesn't exist. Spud's gonna see the white sword here.
Yeah, that's not going to impress Spud at all.
Until we can dual wield swords.
So let's see. Best item in here is wand, then ladder, I suppose, if you're Rick, and it's simply ladder if you're Spud.
With no second quest bubbles, the wand holds a lot less value than it might would otherwise.
So, based on that knowledge, it'll be Magic Boomerang.
What? No, it's gonna be a heart. It's definitely gonna be a heart. How about a mugger?
Spud is, yeah, Spud is getting mugged. I think Rick just got mugged. He was at 9. He's at 8 now.
Yeah, Rick got mugged.
And we got the dreaded double freeze, so we'll hope they both come back.
So the ice rod is in 3, confirmed.
Seems so. Fun fact, it seems like the ladder is, in fact, in the room that they are frozen in, for what's worth. So there's your knowledge.
So then they're actually kind of tied. Rick having... There's not... Really, it's going to come down to, does the extra 2 damage from the magical sword beat out the extra defense from the blue ring? And obviously 9 routing is going to matter a whole heck of a lot, but Rick does have to go back to 8.
With the quick compass, though, as Brewer fan JP also points out, so you could easily just find that.
Yeah. And it's probably going to be maybe a minute difference getting into 9, which can easily be swung by just a different route. I don't think Rick would particularly hate to see a wand, but only if it's directly on the path where he's going. Let's see. All right. Rick looks like he's digging at level 5. Spud is presumably also in 5. Spud's walking to 5 now, or just left 5 and is walking to 9. So the Triforce can't be that much deeper in 5 for Rick. Okay, we have Rick speed back up.
Yep, getting him going again.
Spud just picked up the AD key.
Well, they're both back, not quite to the any key, so we can swap it back.
Sorry.
No worries. The Triforce, I think, is in the room Spud's clearing now officially, as we do have the compass there. So Rick will be behind no matter what going into 9, obviously, with the Triforce still an 8 outstanding.
Plus the longer 5 dig. Oh, gets a heart for his efforts.
Yeah, that's we'll see if Rick decides to also get the any key. I think Spud's going to walk back. I think both end up just walking it, but you could, in theory, just feel so far behind that you got to make some moves.
Well, if Rick ends up full clearing this 5 and then has to go back to 8, it may be more close to a 2-minute gap to getting into 9.
I think this is going to be more than a 2-minute gap at this point, just based on the full clear that we see Rick doing.
And if Rick skips the compass in 8, then, well, that's just silly. (109.19), Spud goes into 9.
Thanks.
So if Spud didn't have the silvers at this point, you would very much know now they don't. I think he needs to go somewhere else.
Yep, that would have ruined the suspense immediately. And the Gleok's roaring away to kind of troll you. There's the compass for Rick. Gonna get frozen up again, but we know that the Triforce is but a room to the right and 2 rooms up from where his current location is, I believe, so it won't be long.
Yeah. But all it takes is one slightly different round of 9 in this whole thing. Both runners got the ladder late. They actually got it at about the same time.
Yeah, what this comes down to is Magical Sword was either 10 or 11 hearts, because Spud did have 11. Spud got that, and Rick didn't find the white sword that was in the same dungeon as the ladder until much later, and I think that helped Spud gain time, perhaps more so than any other one single thing.
I would argue, also here's Ganon. And Spud has a hint for where Zelda is. I would also argue Rick running out of bombs to 8 on the first trip in also gave Spud a bunch of time because Rick has to go back to 8 now.
Yeah. I do feel like Mags was a very significant find versus Wood Sword. It makes your dungeon clear go so much smoother. You're killing Gleoks in like 8 swings total, and you're killing everything else in 2 swings almost. Save for maybe 1 enemy.
Yeah, like the Magical Sword is... I would agree that the Magical Sword is the biggest thing that has led to the difference between the 2 runners. I don't think it's necessarily the only thing, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
5. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just agreeing. Definitely was not the only thing.
But Spud's got to be a little careful because Spud does have no ring here. So if Spud takes a death deep in 9, that could be a problem.
Oh no, we got the dreaded double freeze. I think Rick is going to skip the any key at this point. Yeah, he's feeling behind, feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
And here's the interesting part. I mean, we do have the hints for 9, but you have one runner opening any and every key door. You have another runner that won't have that opportunity. will that change the way they route 9 at some point?
Yeah, I mean, there are times where it's been said that it's a blessing to not have the any key because you're going to skip key doors that may lead you down a better path. Spud's back in the Darknet room. Rick's going to grab his compass, grab his Triforce out of 8. Yeah, I think head straight to 9. Maybe you could make an argument whistle to 6 to get to 9 and pick up the key on the way.
I think at this point just feels behind. Just motoring.
Yeah, Rick's got the compass now. This is not Zelda.
No, 2-door Monty. We gotta pick the correct door to the direction of Zelda.
He could still be Magic Staircase block too after all this.
That'd be funny, but unlikely.
There's a map for Rick. So that's what 8 looks like, folks. This feels like it's going to be the door.
It also feels frozen as heck.
Rick gets the Triforce. And that was indeed the door.
I would assume so. Only 7 seconds passed on the timer, so we are very likely that that was it.
Well, also we have Spud speed back, and he's on the credits.
Yep. Definitely just noting that only 7 seconds passed on that free, so it couldn't have been another bomb wall to another door. It was just simply that.
Yep.
So we'll get the invite out and have a talk about the potential for Game 3, which I think is scheduled for tomorrow.
Yes. Be curious, official time for Spud was 1:13:42. And Rick finds the immediate Ganon. Or I guess anti-Zelda.
And we are welcomed by Spudozaurus. GG's.
Thank you.
So a couple things really propelled you ahead. I think perhaps not running out of bombs in 8 next to the Triforce was one. However, that magical sword being so early on in the heart number is what ultimately I think probably led you to a time advantage, as Rick is in 9 now, probably about 2.5 minutes behind at this point, entering 9. So I think over time that is definitely what helped you.
Yeah, when I went for that play and it worked out okay, I knew that was big. Like, I knew that was going to make a difference. It seemed very early to get max.
Yeah, but talk about this seed in comparison to Game 1, because there were some trolly aspects to it still. Having to find the power bracelet in 4 to go to level 3 to get your ladder, to get the any key that you saw all seed but couldn't touch. Yeah,
so yesterday was really slow. This one was more like lukewarm, like that had a bunch of things going my way and a bunch of things more intricate. But yeah, early ball and stuff like that still makes me more confident. Like at least I've got something important early on, and with the arrows to fire to kill some enemies.
Woo!
And yeah,
that map.
That's a 9.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's I don't even know what you could call that.
That looks like an oversized level 8 type of shape, to be honest. Yeah. Oh, that staircase is beautiful.
Yes. Go down to the little stair. That also makes the hint of Zelda being in the northeast really awkward.
Yeah, it is. And nothing bumps, so you've got to kill these dark nuts, or maybe find another staircase on the west, but you've got to take a staircase at some point.
I feel like Rick, I mean, we got a little bit of a freeze when it happened, but I feel like he got the hint, because it was pretty easy to get to the kidnapped hint. So it has to know that likely to be a transport staircase to get up to the part he needs to get to, at least. So I don't think this will be too long. Just a question of can he combat this room down with White Sword versus the magical sword that really made this fast. Took a potion, but still, mags on this room makes it a little bit more trivial.
Yeah, I also took a death. Like one slight movement, 1 pixel off, and I took a death to a Darknet in this room.
Yeah. Ultimately, though, built up enough of a time cushion to where it didn't mean much in the end. It just it maybe adds to the nerves a little bit.
Yeah, slightly.
All right, we are up in the same place that you ultimately found your way to. So I think Rick will be finishing up here shortly.
Yeah,
unless he takes a death. Don't get hugged by a Gibdo.
You've got the blue ring, but that's not quite the deal. But there's the door.
Yeah. So get your GGs out for Rick, finishing 118.44, 5 minutes and 2 seconds behind our race winner, Spudozaurus. GG's, Rick.
GG's.
So
GG's.
we pointed out to Spud, but we'll give it to you as well. The one Dodongo room in 8 kind of slowed you down by a few minutes there from the Triforce that was pretty close by. But ultimately, what made the difference was how early Magical Sword was achieved by Spudosaurus, whereas you simply couldn't get the hearts to get there.
Where were the hearts?
That's a little bit of a good question. I think one was level 2.
2 hearts
Yeah, I
in
got
2,
the-
2 hearts in 1, and White
Yeah, I
Sword
got
item.
those. And of the White Sword heart, which I never picked up, but
Yeah,
I'm guessing 10 hearts.
Yeah,
11.
I had 10 and took the White Sword heart before checking for max, so it was 11 or less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go back to get the White Sword heart, Rick, or did you leave that?
I left that.
All right, so that is the 2 heart difference, because I think you were at 9 until you got Mugger room to 8.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the early mags definitely got you a little bit there, because I think to that point you were perhaps slightly ahead, but once Spud got the magical sword, especially before going into 7 with the blue dark nut rooms that kind of guarded the way to the Triforce, and again, just the amount of rooms you had to clear in that ultimately is what kind of did you in. So just unfortunate.
And that makes sense. I mean, when you're able to take care of blue dark nuts, everything seemed like it rolled up that you didn't want it to roll up. So when you're able to slice and dice enemies a lot faster, it becomes a time of who's got the better equipment. And in that case, if you got magical sword, that does pay out. Obviously, that would help out with level 5 with that Triforce room as well.
Yeah, basically
totally.
just exactly the opposite of game 1 in terms of who got combat first. And I think honestly, in both seeds, we saw the person that got the combat advantage first, whether it be offense or defense, was the ultimate victor. But no surprise to me, we're going to game 3 here.
Yep, you called this yesterday.
Yeah, it's not a big surprise. Obviously, I would have loved to have ended this series tonight, but I mean, when you're up against a tough opponent like Spudosaurus, you've got to expect a game 3 to be coming up here. Just this seed felt like it wanted to go nowhere fast as well, and the fact that level 4 up on Death Mountain, which probably was also easily achievable at some point, containing the power bracelet that opened up the rest of the seed also didn't help me.
Yep, you were the first to get there. Spud grabbed the bow and didn't have the keys, I believe, to go to that one room in the corner.
That was the issue for me.
Yeah. Both of you ended up with... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, however, he did get the heart into, did go back to the White Sword, so perhaps pushed him away from the item needed for progression, but pushed him into the health that gave him the 40% chance at Mags. I think if Mags is at 14, the series may have ended.
The other thing that may have ended it is if the Triforce in 8 wasn't near where the Silvers were. Because, Rick, you had the Silvers considerably earlier than Spud did. And we were thinking that if the Triforce was up in that north portion of 8, just ladder blocks, then those may end up getting skipped until either a hint or after 9.
Yeah, but
Mm.
with the Triforce pointing you down to that southern area, not a surprise, but overall, it is what it is there. I didn't
Yeah.
have the keys for level 8. I didn't have the keys for half the dungeons early on.
Yeah, well, I think it's like a 3.5 minute time difference for the majority of the CG2 play, maybe 4 minutes. So, again, with a time difference that close, it's just the small things that end up making the difference as to who wins and who loses. So, very happy as a neutral to watch this go to game 3 because I think that's what both of you deserve to fight it out to, and I can't wait for tomorrow morning just to see what the randomizer throws at you and who gets the just little push to get there.
Yep, I'm glad it goes to game 3 and we both get a chance to defend our spot.
But yeah, I guess also you got anything?
No, just gonna echo that I'm really looking forward to game 3, and hopefully it gives both of you not a terrible seed, but well, in Z1R, asking for that is like asking to win the lottery.
Yeah, for certain.
Yep.
Any final thoughts from either one of the runners?
Nope. GG's to Rick. Always a pleasure playing you. And yeah, thanks everyone involved in the stream, and see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I have that the same thing here to spudozaurus. I mentioned at the beginning of race number 1, it's an honor to race them, especially considering all the contributions that they've done to the Z1R community. I mean, we all remember the spud charts from last year's tournament and whatnot. So it's an honor. We're going to do game 3. Now, could we please have a little more of a less painful seed in game 3, please?
Yeah.
I mean,
Rando says no, but I know.
Rando's just gonna say, "Here's 12 HP blue wear drives. Good luck."
I mean, we had what was it? 6 HP red Lionels. We had blue dark nuts that rolled 10. Everything rolled up, so I think we already had that pain for today.
You at least got bomb droppers to roll down. Red Gorilla rolled down on the overworld, if I remember correctly, and Red Dark Nuts in the dungeon also rolled down.
That felt like the only 2 things that rolled down.
And Fires. Fires White Swordable.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
Keiths weren't 2 HP, so that was nice.
I mean, I'll take that.
Not to be outdone by when the Tektites roll up. The red Tektites in a dungeon rolling up 2 HP is the worst of the worst, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've rolled like 4 seeds in the last 2 days. One of them was a complete jet. One of them was about normal. And we've had the 2 that I've rolled, you 2, that both have been a little bit longer races, but that makes it more fun for everybody, except the runners, perhaps. But yeah, looking forward to game 3. Again, GG's to both. And quick shout out to Brewers fan JP, who was clicking the buttons behind the scenes. Might see if we can get him in the booth for game 3, but we really needed him tonight with those late night oil matches. Those are his specialty with his schedule. Speaking of matches, 5 Eastern, 6 Eastern, 8 Eastern, 10:30 double header. Those are the next 5 matches today. All but one of them on SpeedGaming 2. The other being the 5 o'clock on SpeedGaming 3. And I believe all of those will have an elimination game tied to them. The doubleheader, of course.
Fury,
Yes.
I had to make you special by not putting you on SpeedGaming 2.
Well, we did that to ourselves by stacking up right on top of the Jess and Rap White one, but that's the way the schedules go sometimes, is availabilities and all. But yeah, I am looking forward to game 3. I will once again be setting my alarm. Whether or not I can do comms will depend on the signups. I will let some other people get in and maybe do that as well, so that they can enjoy watching Rick and Spudozaurus play out Game 3, which I'm sure will be quite the watch.
Absolutely.
Also, it's been a blast.
Yes, it has, and I would love to keep doing this again in the future.
Shouts again to SpeedGaming for putting us on the air, and we will see all of you hopefully starting at 5 o'clock to watch all the great action tonight on the SpeedGaming Family Networks. So long.